The one thing I absolutely love about tournament seasons where I need to go and farm the promo is I love fighting kids. Okay, no, I shouldn't say it that way, huh? Hey, what's going on, guys? Amidst here. Today I am back to talk about my favorite deck. It's the most predictable video you ever would have seen coming. Of course, it is Nightrose Summer. We are back to talk about Nightrose again. It's been almost a year since that come out standard, and I'm still feeling no nut November. So leave me a comment if you think I should seek therapy. Today we are gonna talk about her first direct support, her promo order, her tournament promo order. This is a Nightrose Dances in the Infernal Hour. It came out for Japan in the November-December wave in 2025. I have no idea when you get this in English. I know most of the time I talk about promos, people ask me, when are you getting English? I don't know. I don't play English. So, yeah. Anyways, today we're going to talk about this card in depth because I have tested this card like a lot and I really have a lot to say about this because very frankly, there's a lot of things about this card. It does confuse me. So, I wanted to make a video to really sort out my thoughts. And yeah, links in description as per normal for my channel memberships if you'd like to support me beating up children so I can afford the cards so that I can show it to you guys. And more importantly as well, for the previous Nightrose video and encyclopedia, that one's updated till last year. I know some people have asked me, oh, will you update the Nightrose encyclopedia? Honestly, I rather just do update videos at this point. I think those do better and you guys seem to fare better with that. So yeah, as for the battle series, I'm really grateful. Thank you to everyone who came down to support us for those videos. I'm definitely planning to do more. We are looking at about once a month around there. I mean, it is pretty difficult to procure people to go play for me, play for my entertainment, right, and chain them up to my table. But we're gonna see what we can do. Okay, so definitely look out for that. We are definitely gonna make more of that, but the rest of these videos will just be me sitting in front of the camera telling you why Nightrose is the worst deck format. But she's not the worst deck format. Okay, so yeah. Let's start off proper by talking about this card. So this is a Nightrose Dances in Infernal Hour. I know most people when I do a video about these kind of cards, they're always really upset. They're like, oh, Amidst, I can't read the card because of the glare. So I'd like you to know that I went out of my way to buy the non-foil version of this card. I went for this. I went to buy the fifth one because I was like, okay, I need to show something on camera, right? Okay, so that's what the card looks like, non-foil. If you're able to guess why I bought 4 foil, congratulations, you're a genius. But okay, let's talk about this card proper. This card is a tournament promo strike order, right? So it's very similar to the strike orders that we have seen before. So if you guys remember A Footstep Through Time, Genesis of the Beginning, the Shiranui House Arrest Order, the Revenge of the Dragon Luat Order, these follow exactly the same clause, wherein if you discard it for the cost of strike, because they are grade 3 cards by the way, you can actually cut down the cost of either your hard card's ability or your Strider's ability by 1 CB. That's how that works, right? So in case instead of paying 1 CB, you pay 0 CB. But for Nightrose, because we'll get to that application later. But just know that that's what this does when discarded for the cost of stride, right? So if you discard it for stride, you can actually just cut the cost of 1 skill by 1 CB. Okay, so that skill is standard, it's still there, which means that for the rest of like this format's existence, as long as you hear someone say, oh, so and so strike deck set is getting a promo strike order, that's what that means. It means that they have one more skill there that says if discarded for the cost of strike, you cut a cost by 1 CB on your Vanguard circle, either the heart or the strike card. I don't know why people were still competing about this, saying that's not what this card was going to do, but no, you're wrong again. So at least now we have clear confirmation from Bushiroad that this is the design space looking forward. One thing that's not clear moving forward is why these cards seem to have different zones of operation, and I'll get to that with the first skill. So the first skill says that you can play this card from your drop zone, and if you do, you can play it from your drop zone. So what happens when you play this card? You bind this card from like your hand or your drop zone. So that means you can still play this from the hand, right? But you still have to bind it no matter what. And then there are some effects. You can choose one of 2 different effects that you can opt for. So if you opt for the first effect, You look at the top 7 cards in your deck, choose up from 1 to among them, discard it, and your Vanguard gains 5,000 power. The second ability is that you can just choose a card from your drop zone, call it to Vanguard Circle, and that unit gets 5,000 power. Yeah, so quite a lot of words and stuff packed into that, but let me break it down for you in our next segment right here. So what are the applications of this card is really simple. Basically, okay, I won't talk about the strike application anymore. Okay, I think we all understand that for now. But what this does is very simple. You can open the top 7, you can mill anybody, right, and then give your Vanguard 5,000 power. Now, especially if you play a strike deck set like me, you will be forced to go first a lot of your life. That's because your G zone that you signal to your opponent is a telegraph zone, which means when you start the game, you have to declare to your opponent you're playing a G zone. You don't need to show them what's inside, but they need to know it's there, right? And most people who have a living brain cell will realize, hey, they want to go second. I'll just force them to go first when I win the die roll, because they will win the die roll, right? That's just how Vanguard works. So most of the time, if you're forced to play going first, your Vanguard will attack for 13,000 power, which it's okay, but like, you know, having an additional 5,000 power given to your Vanguard grade 3 Nightrose does help, because your opponent's Vanguard is going to be grade 2, right? Which means you're going to be at 10,000 power. So being able to attack for a magic number of 18,000 power versus a Vanguard of 10,000 power does help. I won't deny it is helpful. And in the long run, yes, there is a long run part to this. If you are on the stride unit, let's say you are on Obadiah, right? So that is a total of 28,000 power. So 28,000 power plus 5,000 power here, that puts you at 33,000 power. With your crest, it gives you an additional 5,000 power. That puts you at 38,000 power at minimum, right? So you can see that this card, for free by the way, does give you a free 5,000 power to the Vanguard Circle and a mill 1, right? That's the more important part, a mill 1. You can top 7 mill 1, which is basically just a better version of Philander's effect, because Philander is a top 5 mill 1. So having more milling, more consistency in the pool really helps a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it helps you so much. And not only that, but the second skill, wherein you can just remove this card from your drop zone, which is both skills by the way. You call a card from your drop zone, it gets 5,000 power, also means you get magic numbers on your Vanguards too. Going first, you can now call Negro Bone and give it another 5,000 power, which means it's a 13k booster and will kill itself to get its draw effect, which again, that's pretty good. But we can actually go even further beyond. For example, if we call Negro Lazy, we can now just do the exact combo. But now you have Negro Lazy Evolve, which means you have an additional 15k body that you can just toss around. But you can get even spicier from there. If you manage to mill off cards like, say, your Ace unit, which is a must play in Nightrose, by the way. I know I haven't talked about Nightrose in a while, but this is a must play, okay? You only have one Ace unit per deck, right? So if you just mill this off, you can hit it, and that's pretty good. And for the main application of this card, which again I will talk about right now, what you mainly want to do with this card is, say you're on Nightrose, right? You use this card for the cost of stride, so you discard it, and you can stride into Obadiah, right? That's just how this game works, right? You go into Obadiah, and that's your stride. Now, for Nightrose's stride skill, of which you need to pay 0 CB for, by the way, you can now just call any card. So let's say I just call a Negro Bone, right? So I'll just call Negro Bone here. It gets the 2,000 power, and that's for free. Obadiah's effect, I flip 1. I can look at the top 5, mill 1, and then I call another card. So let's say I call, I don't know, it needs to be Obadiah's effect, right? So I'll call card Holo. So I'll call this Negro Lazy Holo. I call Obadiah. Now, to top it off even more, I will use my order card, the Infernal Hour. So I bind this card, and then I call a card from my drop zone. And that's it. Now I just need to sprinkle by calling something else from hand or somewhere. And cool. I've got a whole formation. Again, you don't actually have to call Negro Bone for most of the effects here. The main effect you want to save it from is from, like, say, the Vanguard strike skill, because that tends to be a skill that you don't want to call front row for, it's a back row for. But again, if let's say I redo one step, you use Infernal Hour, right? So you bind the card, then you can call something else, like say, I don't know, you can end up calling the ace unit from that, right? And then after that, you can top 7 and then call this guy. And just like that, you have a full board, right? And all you took is just using this card for stride fodder and this as your stride. So for exactly your 1-card combo, just like Yu-Gi-Oh! 1-card starter, you get a full board. And all it requires you to have is just having Negro Bones in drop, right? Because that's how this game works, right? That's how Nightrose plays. Everything else, free. Literally free of charge. Because everything just comes free as per the deck. You just get it when you want, you just mill it, you just need to open your Negro Lazy in time for your Obadiah combo, and that's it. The whole board is built. Yep, and I'm sick again. So, that is all the strengths. That's all the strengths of this card. So as you can see, there is a pretty good, application for this card in terms of what you can do with this. It is really fun. And the main combo, while simple, is highly effective, right? Because it just enables you to vomit all these boards of slot for free, which is even better in a format where prison is rampant. You can actually sustain quite a fair bit. Now, for the parts on the confusion. Now, the way this card is written, you will think that is what it's for, right? You want to discard it for stride. Now, here's the first kicker. If you stride Obadiah consistently, you will lose the game. You need to actually play the damn game, which is only available in Miss Phantasm Pirate King Nightrose, which requires you to discard a Nightrose or stride. Mind you, this doesn't count as a Nightrose card. It says a Night Space Rose dancing in the Infernal Hour. It is not a Nightrose dancing in the Infernal Hour, which means you can't even use this for the cost of Ultimate Stride, which I should bear in mind, you can't even call it Ultimate Stride because this is the only stride worth playing in the damn deck. If you are not on this card at all, on any of your turn 4, 5s or over, you have effectively lost the game. You cannot tell me, oh Amidst, I'm just going to stall them out with Obadiah, I'm going to call Rhinosaurus, and I'm going to beat them up, and I'm going to stall them out till, all my hostage cards are... No, you can't do that anymore. You may have survived off that freaking copium with your Elvina back in, October 2024. Guess what? The format has changed. So much more decks with board removal. Heart Lulu gets an EB3 builder board. You're telling me you're still banging on one perfect guard, crouching behind your Vanguard to save your life? Don't be ridiculous. It's not feasible anymore. The game has gotten faster to the point where realistically you could not do that. You could do that against stuff like Rezaio Vita because he couldn't give a shit about your board. He just attacked and swung and farmed the dogs for dog meat and his PGs. No. Right now, you need something way faster. And that faster needs to be this. If you are spending your whole game just looping Obadiah and going into, your hostage, you will not have that chance to survive. Straight up, not possible. Now, the second part about a Nightrose Dances in Infernal Hour that makes this card really confusing for myself is that if you remember the parallel to this card, most people would have pointed it out. It is highly similar to the Nebula Knights order. I'll put a link in the description for the Nebula Knights video just so we are all clear. The Nebula Knights order is also a play from drop card, right? I mean, most of you know that, but if I tell you, oh, it works like Vermilion, none of you will believe me, and that's because Vermilion's order is bad, but, the Nebula Knights order is good. The Nebula Knights order is a bind itself from drop zone to play, right? You top 7 and you call a card, right? And most people say, hey, isn't it the same as, the new Shrine order? No. And here's why. I've talked about the Nebula Knights order in a lot of my decks, right? I've talked about it in Alfred, I've talked about it in Nebula Knights, I've talked about it in Youthberg. Now, these are decks that need a lot of discard at random times, right? Youthberg just randomly needs to discard in order to play the game. Alfred needs to discard to play, the right deck. These decks require discards at non-opportune times, right? Just as long as you can just use it for the cost of ride, you can ride up and go for it. So you may be inclined to think, oh, Amidst, I can just use this for the cost of ride. That's not what this is, buddy. That's not what this does. If you discard this for the cost of ride, you are still going minus as per the normal ride economy. But if you kept up to play the rest of the cards, like say Enlarge Golf, you can use it for that on the cost of stride instead, which would mean you're using this for the cost of ride, which doesn't make sense because it has clearly the skill that says it wants to discard it for the cost of stride. So like, it's like they don't even know what they want you to discard it for. If they really wanted you to discard it for the cost of stride, why would they make it like this where you can only use it on one stride, which is the bad stride? I'm not saying they should have given me a free ultimate stride, but like, why couldn't they have it interact with this in a way that would still be meaningful? I don't know. Then again, if we're talking about ultimate stride, you still need to play Nightrose at least the 3 off or 2 off, and then you need ways to recurve her, either through Tommy the Ghosty Brothers or through this, right? Like Enlarge Gal, Farm Jar, stuff like that will allow you to sustain your hand of Night Roses so that you can repeatedly ultimate stride. But then again, if you want to play Enlarge Golf, most good Night Rose players, if you Google them online, already play, say, 3 to 4 copies of Enlarge Golf because you can use it on the ride up. Enlarge Golf skill says when discarded for the cost of ride of a Grade 3 Vanguard or stride, right? So you can just use this to ride up normally into your Night Rose, and then later on you can use this again for stride into, say, Obadiah, and it gives you a draw back. So So Enlarge Golf, as compared to, say, a Night Rose Dancers in Infernal Hour, this has way more applications for your plussing and your sustainability of the game plan as compared to this, which is just win more. At least that's what it looks like right now. But I really don't understand. And to make matters worse, yes, it's going to get worse. There is not much space in this deck. I know what you're thinking. Amidst, just make the space. You're stupid. Okay, let me show you. Hello. Post-editing Amidst here. I forgot to mention, Columbart cannot search this card as well. I cannot believe I missed that out from the script. I'm so sorry. Columbart can only search out normal units without Sentinel, or units without Sentinel, and it doesn't say order card, right? That's what Columbart says. So straight up, if you wanted to use the effect of this Columbart to top 7 and, you know, get a guy, you can't do that. You cannot top 7 at 2 normal units without Sentinel. So you can't even use this to search out the order card. It's just straight up impossible to do so. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there just so they're all clear. This cannot be searched out through Columbart. Yeah. You have to play 4 Negro Bone, right? I'm sorry, people say play 3. No, you need to play 4. If you're playing competitively, you need to play 4 Elvina, right? I mean, I don't think this is in dispute anymore. This is pretty much obvious. You need to play an ace unit, which is fine, but this is just a cute one-off that you absolutely mandatorily need to have. And then, of course, you also need to play, you know, the rest of your hijinks. You still need to play a copy of Negro Lazy, at least 1, right? And then after that, you need to play 3 Night Rose. And then after that, you need to play, say, 3 to 4 copies of Enlarge Golf, which is a lot of great 3s, by the way. And then you still need to find space for this. At like what? A 2? A 3? A 4? I don't know. There's a reason why I only sleeved 1 copy for this, is to demonstrate to you how tight we are on space. I have like a whole playset sitting here. I ain't gonna show you that because I don't even know what it's meant for. I personally will play this card at 4. I really enjoy this card, right? In terms of Night Rose Dancers and Infernal Hour, I really think it's really fun, and I really enjoy how they built this deck to now be like, oh, it's a pseudo Nebula Night Order. Honestly, I love that so much for this deck. But I ask myself at this point in time, is this what this deck really needs? Is what I needed in an order a Nebula Knight's order? Not to mention, and I still haven't touched on this yet, if you're playing stuff like the Hostage package, the Blitz Order package, the Plant Token package, the Looping Rhinoceros package, all of that needs space on top of the already mentioned cards that are fixed into your main deck. You still need to fit all of that instead if you want to play any extra tech cards. And if you are telling me it comes at the expense of these 12 cards in your deck, sorry, 13 cards in your deck, you've effectively lost the game, right? You cannot tell me at this point in time, oh, I'll do without Enlarged Golf, or oh, I'll do without Negro Boat. No! No way, man. Then you're not just then you're not playing this deck. You might as well just go back to playing Bergner Sky Ruler then, because that would do you a lot better as compared to this, who can't even multi-attack on turn 3. So, really, like, ask yourselves, what is the point of this card? I really don't know. I feel like whoever was the R&D thought they were really cute to say, oh, I really want to do a Nebula Knights Order again, but then they just ended up printing the most inconsistent thing ever. Like, it's so conflicting what this card wants to do. It's not even funny. It's good, alright? It's a good card and what it wants to do. It's really good in this, it's really good in this, but having them both together, I really don't get it. I seriously don't. But if there's any consolation, we now know why Belle was banned, right? We now all know why Belle was banned. Because if they allowed Belle back into this deck, you can now just loop this card because it says bind it, and this says put the card from your bind zone back to the drop zone, right? So realistically speaking, if we still had Belle, you would only need like 2 copies of a Nightrose Dancers and Infernal Hour, and then you just play one of this and just loop it every turn for at least an additional free call to your board every turn as an extra 13k booster, or say an extra way to secure strike fodder. All this you can procure just through this interaction. So again, I guess this is why Belle was banned. Another format where Nightrose gets a preemptive hit, just like V-Series. Am I right? I feel like you could call it justified, but to me, I feel a little bit miffed that, oh, I really wish I could have played that in D-Series. That would have been really funny. But again, you know where else you can play this in? You can play this in Premium. That's right. You can play this in Premium. You can play the Nightrose Order in Premium because there is no energy cost. Why is there no energy cost? I don't know. I really thought they would do an energy cost on this card because the Shiranui one had one, but no. Bushiroad has decided we move away from that again, and now we are forced to, no energy. So yeah, again, I'm not going to do another Nightrose Premium video. In fact, I probably won't do any more Premium videos because those do terribly, and the Premium audience is kind of dying down. Like, there's even a shop that straight up started doxing other people for Premium players, so I'm not talking about that. Hell no. But yeah, other than that, one last positive note, yes, I am going to end this video on a positive note, is that, there is some funny tech picks that you can try. If you're talking about funny tech pick, that has been Amidst. Amidst is a deep lens, right? And the deep lens deck, which is in Skyride, by the way, is finally coming out. Let me see if I can get the book. So yes, I did say before, I am a huge Skyride nerd. I bought the entire set in English and Japanese, both, right? I had this imported to me, so thank you so much, my friend who did that. And yeah, Amidst is the deck from Skyride, right? It's in the manga. So they're finally getting a full deck, and now you can play this in Nightrose as well. Because Amidst is basically a Tayfort with an EV 2 Giga Paralyzed skill. When she attacks, it caught from the drop zone this turn. If a unit is caught from drop zone this turn. So you can tag her in with Nightrose now because Nightrose has a direct order. I have a confession to make. In December of last year, I actually went to compete with Nightrose with 4 Amidst and 4 Habitat. Mistia Habitat, right? In a few WGPs in Japan. Public confession. Did I do well? Not too bad. I was 2 wins away from top card. So yeah, I am pretty happy about that, but I kind of wish that I didn't lose to 2-drop Veda back to back. But it's okay, because now I get to share that wisdom with you. Amidst, frankly, is one of the funniest cards in Stoichia that you can play in Nightrose. Also because you can tackle off Miss Phantasm, right? Because Miss Phantasm can just call 2 cards grade 2 or higher from the drop zone. If Amidst is one of them, you do get a free Giga Paralyze. So yeah, I have had a lot of fun playing Amidst in this deck, and frankly, it's even cooler that now I get the keeper in this deck because I now have an order that directly supports her. So yeah, I am from the bottom of my heart really happy, and that's where I'm going to end this video at. Because if I keep talking about this card, I'm going to stay here for another 24 hours. I'm gonna say this again and again and again. I love this deck. I love Nightrose. And I'm really glad that, you know, she got a promo order that looks this good. I was really hoping for them to have her on the art and stuff. And they did. And they even brought all the little boogies back too. You can see there's a Columbat, you can see that, that's a Grenache. You can see a little Skeleton Cannoneer in the back, right? Or Skeleton Gunner. You can see them too. And of course, Tommy the Ghosty Brothers. This is my new favorite art of Nightrose by far. She looks so good in it, and I'm just really glad they made this card. I'm even more tickled that they made it into a Nebula Knights order, because that was the one most irritating generic I've hated the whole of this year in terms of how badly it warped card design, and now I get to do it too. I love doing things that people have done to me. So again, I am just really happy that I got this card. I don't understand, okay? As I mentioned earlier in the video, I don't understand why this card is designed that way. It has so much anti-synergy with, like, say, the ultimate stride, and like the amount of great trees this deck already wants to play, and the fact that we have no space. But you know what? I'm willing to forgive everything. I'm willing to let go of everything if they keep dropping such good arts for Nightrose every year. Bushiroad, I will keep sending you money, okay? I will attend every event you have. I will beat every child you throw at me. If it means I need to earn more of this, I will. But that's where I also want to segue into next few videos, because, you know, I need to ensure a consistent flow of income. I will be talking more about more of the tournament promos that came out in this set. So definitely I have a video for this guy, Shadow Paladins, dropping by the end of this year. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it vague. Do look out for that. This card has taken 3 years to make, right? And I have a lot to say. So do subscribe and do like this video, subscribe, and come back, because I will talk about that card. Absolutely. I am planning to do a few more videos on the tournament promos. I am considering doing a video on Diecrawler. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I'll probably get someone else to come in and talk about it, because there's a lot of applications behind that card. And then I will also see if I want to do more Dragon Empire videos for the end of this year. I may do more Lyrical Monasterio videos as well, because DZ LBTO2 just dropped this weekend in Japan at the moment of this recording. So yeah, I don't know what I'll do, but I definitely will be doing more for the end of this year. Yeah, because you guys and really came through for the battle series. I was surprised at the positive reception. A lot of you wrote in to say, oh, thank you really much, I really enjoyed it. You know, I really like you explain the skills clearly in English, because, you know, my English is not good, but I force myself to speak in full sentences. And, like, you know, you guys did like it and love the entertainment for that video. So yeah, I am really more than happy to keep doing it, because not only do I enjoy it, you guys enjoy it, right? So clearly we both stand to gain from me continually to sit in front of a camera and talk nonsense about cardboard. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good note to end it on. Yeah, because this video is gonna be dragged out long enough. I'm not doing a Harry video. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you may ask me for a Harry video. I ain't doing it. I'm too tired. Is there anything else I want to say? No, not really actually. No. Oh yeah, there is one more thing I guess I can end it on. Which I think is pretty obvious by now, but I probably should say it. You need the soul front for Nightrose now. Because you're playing 4 and large golf. So you do actually need to add this in the deck. I don't know why I just added this at an addendum to this video, but that's probably because I haven't talked about Nightrose on camera for such a long while. So yeah, just want to update you. You do actually need to play this card. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Take care. Adios.